Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Today I got a review on the new Blackvue DR750X-3 DMS Plus. Now I know that's quite a mouthful. The DMS stands for Driver Monitoring System. So if you're just looking for a camera to record front, rear, and interior, and you're just a regular driver, or maybe you're an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, whatever kind of rideshare or taxi service you might work for, you're probably better off with the standard 3-channel model. Now I did review that one. I will provide a link down in the description to that review. The reason I suggest that model is because with that interior camera, you're actually going to be able to see what's going on inside of your car. Where this model, the DMS feature is more for monitoring just the driver, not anything else going on in the car, and you have a much more limited view of the interior. Now Blackvue did send me this for review, and it's actually only available through their website. It's not available on Blackboxmycar or Amazon. If you are interested in any of the other cameras I'm talking about in this review, I'll have links down in the description to where you can purchase those directly through those retailers. But if you're looking for this DMS model, provide a link down for that too. Now this camera is still very similar to the standard 3-channel model. Both use the same iOS or Android smartphone app that allows you to change settings from your phone so you don't have to use any built-in screen. And that's also where you will be able to view files and download them to your phone. So this model, as I said, it's not for the average driver or rideshare drivers. This is going to be more for truckers, companies with fleets, anyone that does long distance driving that might be concerned with their driving safety just for their own personal reasons. But for the average daily commuter, this likely is not for you. So this camera comes with most of the same hardware as the standard 3-channel. Now the DMS camera, you can tell, is much bigger. It does have the IR lights also, so it can see in the dark. And in fact, even during the day, it looks like it's recording in the dark. The rear camera cable that comes with the DMS model is quite a bit longer because the standard 3-channel interior camera, you're going to want to mount somewhere up near the top of your windshield. Where this DMS camera, you do have to mount down low directly in front of your face somewhere. Now in my situation, the dashboard was too low. The steering wheel blocked it even if I lowered the steering wheel. But because of my legs and my height, I can't have the steering wheel low anyways. So I had to install it on my windshield. But you also want to make sure it's not too high up your windshield that it starts to block your view. Now, since you can either put it on your dashboard or on your windshield, you will have to go into the settings and flip the image rotation if you're going to put it on your windshield like I did. Now, the one problem I did have with this camera is the fact that the firmware wasn't letting me change the rotation of the interior camera. I tried over and over again. I reinstalled the firmware. I tried reformatting the memory card several times. So I did have to reach out to Blackvue, and they sent me a new config file. So I uploaded that onto my memory card, and then for whatever reason that fixed it. So if you have this issue, you'll just have to contact customer service. I'm not sure if it's a common issue. I haven't heard anyone else say they had this problem, but something with my configuration file was corrupt, and I think it might have had to do with the fact that I had been using that memory card in the standard 3-channel model. But anyways, the problem was resolved and I was able to fix it. Now there's a few optional accessories as a trucker or fleet manager you might want to consider. One of them is the tamper-proof case, and of course there is the CPL filter. It's a small add-on, but it can give you a much better quality picture. It helps reduce the glare in your windshield. So I highly recommend the CPL filter. Now the front and rear video is going to be the same as the standard 3-channel model. The video quality is acceptable. Currently there is no 4K 900X 3-channel model. So if you're looking for a 3-channel model, as of early 2022, you only have the 750 series, which is only 1080p front and rear. Now of course the parking mode is the same great automatic buffered parking mode that Blackvue has had for many years. It can only record in the front and rear for this model, so unlike the standard 3-channel, the interior camera is not going to be recording while in parking mode. But to be honest, it wouldn't even be very useful anyways because the field of view is so small in it. I think it makes sense to conserve battery and not have that recording while in parking mode. So as I said, it has the same buffered parking mode that Blackvue has had for many years. So with the buffered parking mode, what that means is when you shut your engine off, it's going to automatically switch to parking mode. When it detects motion or an impact, then it will actually save 10 seconds prior to that trigger and then continue recording for an additional 20 seconds after. Like other Blackvue cameras, it also has a time-lapse parking mode. If perhaps you live or park somewhere where there's constant motion and that would set off the motion detection too often and you're filling up your memory card too much, the time-lapse uses less data, but when it senses an impact, it will save that 30-second clip. So you should be able to still capture a higher frame rate video of any impact detections. And of course, when you start your car back up, it will notify you with a voice alert if it sensed any impacts. But you gotta tweak those settings because oftentimes the impacts of just your door shutting when you get in can set it off. So I like to have my settings somewhat on the lower side, but you can also set those settings based on direction, like forward and backwards, side to side. So you'll want to mess with those and see what works for you. Now, like all of the other recent models of the past few years, they have been pushing the cloud features. You can either connect to the cloud with the optional 4G LTE module, which is a $150 add-on. What's nice about this is I just use a T-Mobile SIM card. It's a 2 gigabyte a month plan, costs $10 a month only. But if you don't want to go that route, you can get a wireless hotspot. You'll of course still need a data plan, but if you do that, you have to remember that if you want to use this during parking mode, that hotspot's got to be powered or have enough battery power always when you're parked. Now with the cloud feature, which is going to be something fleet managers might want, you can receive notifications to a phone or through email, and these notifications could be anywhere from impact sensed, hard braking, going over a certain speed, leaving a certain geofence area. Now all of those features were possible with the other models, but with the DMS model you do get an additional amount of notifications you can get. One of them is if your driver is being drowsy or if they are distracted. And that's where this special interior DMS camera comes into play. Now, if you're a fleet manager, I'm not sure if you really want all of these notifications being sent to you all the time. The options there, maybe you aren't actually viewing all of these email or phone notifications, but it does record them to the cloud. For example, one of your drivers got into an accident, you could check those notifications, and then you could check the recording. Also with the cloud, you can have it save certain videos immediately to the cloud when it detects certain events. One other feature that all of the cloud cameras have from Blackvue is there is two-way communication. So for whatever reason you wanted to speak to your driver and you didn't want them to answer their phone, you could just connect, do a live view, and talk to them as if it's walkie-talkies. So you do have that function. Now if you want these cloud features though, there are several different subscriptions. Regular drivers or Uber drivers, you can get this service for free besides the data plan you have to have for one camera. If you want to have more than one camera, you can upgrade to something like a $10 a month plan, and I believe that's 3 cameras. Maybe you want to do that for a family or maybe a really small company and you don't have 15, 20 vehicles. But With the feature set of each subscription plan, you can see that you get more and more features if you upgrade to the next level. If you are a large company with more than a couple of vehicles, you are going to have to use the fleet plan. Now, either on your phone or on the website, you can view a lot of information on your driver's GPS location, their speed, their routes they're taking. Of course, you can see where they are on a map at any given time. If you have this fleet plan, it actually records these GPS logs and stores them for quite a while. So a lot of these features could be beneficial in determining if there's certain drivers that aren't performing up to your standard. It might help you determine if someone is consistently drowsy or consistently speeding too much. Now, this camera is not cheap. This is, like I said, more for businesses, not personal drivers. It's going to start at $610 with the base 32 gigabyte memory card. I would personally recommend upgrading to a larger memory card. It is going to include a hardwiring kit. They do offer an option for the PowerMagic Pro, but I would personally recommend just use the included hardwiring kit that goes directly from the camera to your fuse box. Now, the LTE module I see is actually $170 now because it's 2022 and everything's going up in price. And the tamper-proof mounting case is $40. Now, if you get that fleet plan, it's going to cost $25 a month starting, but there's an additional $15 a month for every additional camera. If you're just a personal driver or an Uber driver, that might sound ridiculous, but with the feature set that this camera has, $15 a month for each vehicle probably isn't very much for a lot of businesses that want to be able to monitor their drivers' safety and GPS records and other driving records. Overall, I think this is a very interesting product from Blackvue, but since it's more for businesses and companies, this isn't the type of review I would normally do, so it's hard for me to judge it since I'm just sort of hypothesizing or imagining what kind of uses businesses would get out of this. I might be wrong. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, please check out my review on the standard 3-channel model. It's going to be much more suited for you, and I believe it's quite a bit cheaper too, so there's that aspect also. And again, if you're interested in purchasing any of the cameras I mentioned, check down in the description. I do have links to all of them. If they're from Blackboxmycar or Amazon, they are affiliate links that do help support my channel, so I'd appreciate that. If you guys have any questions or comments, please comment down below. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can because I know this camera especially has got quite a lot of features to cover. So I hope this video was useful. If it was, I'd appreciate if you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.